Okay, quick overview of the Biz in the Box system. This is a full entire AI powered business operating system. It features task management, project management, including employee management. Basically, your everything you would need for your business is in here, and AI has access to it. For example, we can go in here and ask it, give me my current task. And what it's going to do here is it has access to our task database, and it's going to be able to give me that information back. So again, this can do this with basically every single aspect of this system it can interact with. So if we go here, as you can see, I have a mentee that needed some basically assistance, and I wanted to create a mind map for his business that he wanted to achieve. So using my current information that I have in my business, as well as how I like to form my mind maps, this AI created a structured overview as well as what products would be best for him to use in terms of AI automation. So again, it even suggested itself AI Biz in the Box in here for him to use, which it has context of, because again, AI Biz in the Box is stored right here. So you guys gotta understand that this system has full context to everything. You can use this for your business just like I do. You can also sell this to businesses just like I do. Understand that there is nothing like this that's on the market. People want AI to be able to interact with their customers. They can go ahead and basically pull information from the customer. Let's say, list my customers right now. So it's going to list my customers here and give me information about each one of my customers. I can go and look at their project. It can give me solutions based on their current needs and suggest products for them without me having to do anything. You can run your whole business directly through an AI terminal. All you have to do is set up your databases to the already done templates that are here for you. So as you can see, it just shows you our current customers that are here in the database. Okay, family, I'm going to work on going over this quick because I'm actually about to leave the country right now. So I just wanted to get this out before I do that because I know I'm going to be doing a lot. So, okay, this is the new, basically, business in a box. This version right here is the version that I currently use for my agency. So I want to show you guys it in action and how I currently use it. And then show you basically behind the scenes and how you guys can set this up if you guys have this and purchase this. So again, if you guys are in the automation community, you should already have access to this. You guys need to go to WAP, and I'll show you where to find that as well. So again, in here, what you can do is basically, this is the full entire operating system for your business, including a CRM, which is basically a customer database. You guys can see here. So a CRM, what that does is basically just store your customers' data. We have a whole bunch of other things as well, including like storage for your resources, your company data, your financial tracker, you have tasks, you have your project management. Again, I don't want to confuse you guys and go too in depth here, so I'm just going to go over the basics right now. So, for example, we have basic things that everybody needs to run a business is task management. So you have basically this task management here, and it's basically just a view of a database. So if you ever want to see the database of basically the view that you're looking at, so let's say if you're looking at some tasks, you guys can come and click open source database. It will take you to that page, which I'll show you here in just a second. But basically all these are a filtered view of a database. And all a database is think of a Google Sheets, a table full of data with different properties like name, email, phone number, etc. You understand? So in this case, let's say a task would have the property or the name of, let's say, task name, and then you got the properties of, okay, is it done, who's assigned to the task, what's the due date, etc. So again, that's a basic rundown of databases, tables, and views. That is what you'll deal with a lot in this. What you're seeing right now, these displays of data, and this is just, again, a mock-up version for you guys to see. It's on a whole other account. But basically, you see this mock data here is all sourced from these mock customers that are in this basically system that is recreated off of the system that I currently use. So let's get into the juicy part. Let's go ahead and see the back end real quick behind everything. This is our main AI agent that runs through the whole entire system. So what it does is it basically goes and it hooks up to all of your sections, all of these databases here inside of Notion. So let's show you how the AI works real quick and show you how to add a task. So we're going to say add task, finish AI box video. So we're going to send that in. What it's going to do is it has access to everything inside this Notion, basically. So everything that you're seeing here is all, like I said, sourced from databases, and the AI has access to read the database. It has access to update it, as you just seen it did. So it can create, it can update, and it can read your databases. So it just added a new task here, as you can see, finish AI box video. So that's exactly what I told it to just do, and you can see it just sent me a response here. So you have your own entire personal AI assistant. So again, that's one little display of how it can interact with tasks, and that is one database. It can do the same thing. Let's say, for example, okay, list all my tasks. So now again, it's showing you the read function. So let's go ahead and go back into the NAN and show you a little bit more of what's happening. So basically what we're doing is, when you're talking to this direct chat agent, for one, if you see this Telegram stuff on the left side, you guys can set up your Telegram by basically going in and just setting up your credentials by making a bot. If you guys want to set this up to use with Telegram, make sure you guys go and watch my other videos, because I'm not going to go into an in-depth guide on how you guys can set up the bot token. It's extremely simple. It's like a 5-minute video you guys can go watch. It's extremely easy to do. But once you have that set up, you can use the voice functions. But for now, what we're really just using this inside the Notion, is this webhook right here. And a webhook is, think about it as like an online phone number. When you're dealing with certain applications, you need something to communicate with. You feel me? With each other, you have a phone number. With humans, you got phone numbers, emails, etc. to be able to contact and you know it's that person. With AI, you got API, links, and webhooks, which is basically essentially the same thing. You understand? So in this case, we just gave our AI agent a webhook. So basically, it's phone number that we can talk to from our internal agent inside Notion. So what it's doing is it's sending data over to this phone number. I'm going to keep referring you to that so you guys can kind of understand. That helps me understand it more. You understand? So basically what you do is you get the number, and which is just a link in this case. So if we go ahead and click this, you'll see that we have this link here. All we're doing is going to our agent, which I'll show you here in a second, and you paste that link to the agent. That is what is allowing it to talk to this flow right here. So all it's doing is assessing the tools that it has, as well as the system prompt that I gave it to basically tell it who it is, what it's doing, and basically CEOify my AI agent so it knows how I like my responses, what it's doing, what tools it has access to. That's basically what you will find inside the system prompt. You guys can change it up for your business, for what you want to do in your standard operating procedures. So again, we have different tools in here for different things. So what you want to do first before you even set up this agent is set up all your sub tools, your sub agents that you want to hook up to this. So basically all the tools that you want to use. In this case, we have, for this Notion system, we have 3 main agents. We have the project manager agent, the resources agent, and the human resources agent. So basically what the human resources agent does is it has access to your employees and, let's say, milestone. It has access to your employees and your CRM. So basically your customers and your employees. It can manage your employee shifts. It can manage your customers' information and give you information tailored to their needs. So then we have the resources agent. This basically goes inside your business database where you store all your files, which I'll show you here in a second. And it pulls that information and it can basically give you tailored information based on what it gets. So let me show you here in a second what our resources look like. So as you can see, we have multiple different documents that for some were generated by AI, some were inputted by us, but AI has access to all these documents. So it can answer tailored information based on what is present in this database. So that's the resources agent. And then we got the project manager agent. That is what I basically showed you initially with the task management, as well as it can manage your projects, it can retrieve your projects. So, and that can be associated with your clients as well. So, you know, if you're doing a project for a client, which most of us do, you understand, then you'll be able to basically store information in there as well as your company information and resources. And it can pull from both of those and give you tailored solutions, tailored answers towards your client's needs, as well as your company's information and standards. So that's basically how the agents operate in terms of through this main internal agent. And then we have the individual agents here. So as you can see, this is a human resources agent. So all you would do to set this up is you would go in here and you would set up your OpenAI credential or whatever other chat model you want to use. If for me personally, I like to keep it on OpenAI for using these agentic tools. So if it has a lot of tools or it needs to really follow a standard operating procedure and understand how to use tools in relation with each other, I tend to use ChatGPT, GPT-4o. Like that's generally what I typically use because every other one, it can give you a little bit of issues. It doesn't really use the tools as well, at least in my opinion. So again, that's what this does. All you're doing here is basically, these are all just different variations of the same tool. You see, this is CRM tool. It's just a get database page. So all it's doing is it's going here. You link up your credential to your Notion, and then what you do is you go in and you basically select your database that you want, and it's just going to. When you click here, I'm going to click off so you guys can see. But again, if you guys have this template, you'll be able to see this already, and it's already done for you. But basically, you see if it says return all, you just want to click this button that lets AI determine. But it's basically going to return all the stuff that's in your CRM, your customers, etc. And then it can feed that back to the agent, and it gives you a response back. And then we have the get employees, same concept. It's going to the database that's linked to the employees. Then it's going and again giving you information based on that after it feeds it to the AI. So that's the human resources agent. So this is the project manager agent. So this is what basically manages, like I said, the projects, tasks, milestones, and objectives. So all this is a variation of the same tool. You have to understand each one of these databases has 3 tools that I use to interact with it, right? Let's say we have the get tool, that's basically going and retrieving all of the projects from the database. And then you have the updates tool. The update is allowing you to update all the entries in the database. And then you have the create project. This is basically creating a page in the database. So the process goes, first you create a project, and then you need to get. So the process goes, first the AI should get all the projects and see what we already have. And then if we don't have the project the user is referring to, create the project. And then once it creates the project, let's say the conversation ended. So the AI needs to understand that every time we talk to it, it needs, especially if we're asking it to update something, it needs to get the database that we're looking for first. Because if we go here and look at update projects, you'll see that you need a field to match to update something. So for example, if you're looking, in this case, to update a page, we are matching the page that we're trying to update, because remember, updating means that it's already created. So it has to know where to find the already created page, and it does this, in this case, because we selected it by ID. So you want to select by ID, and then I usually just click let AI just find this model, especially for this, because basically what it's going to do is it's going to go and it's going to get all the projects that you have in the database. So in this case, it's going to get all. So what it's going to do is going to get all the entries that you have in the database. So in this case, it's getting all the projects. And from doing that, it's going to have context to a bunch of IDs from each page that's in that database. With that information, it can match that ID to whatever. Let's say you're talking about update the graphic design project. It's going to match that ID with the field of the name of the project. So in this case, graphic design project. And it's going to know, okay, I need to update the project with the name, graphic design, and I know that that has the ID of blase blase. So now it can go into update and actually have something to pass here. Because for example, if you run into issues using these 3 tools, again, you got the get, the update, and the create tools. You'll run into issues with it not knowing how to use basically the tools in the right order. You need to understand the order. It needs, before it updates anything, it always needs to get the projects or get the entries in the database. So as you can see, it follows the same structure going down. This is for the databases project, or the project database. And if we go down to the left, you see we have the get, the update, and the create task object. So it's the same concept. You need to understand that first, okay, if we need to create something, it creates it. And then if we ask to update it, you need to always use the get tool first so you can have the ID to update. Because if you don't have it, you'll get an error where, oh, I can't find it, I can't find it, I can't find it, this doesn't exist. So you need to make sure that it is getting the task first. Or if it doesn't say that it doesn't exist, a lot of times it will duplicate the task and you don't want that. So make sure it is using the get tool to make sure it has context to whatever you're pulling from. So again, we also have, again, the same concept with milestones, get, update, and create. So that's a pretty simple concept. It's a tedious task. In this case, it's not tedious. All you guys have to do to set it up, because you already have the template, you just gotta go in here, make sure your credentials are set up. Going in and matching basically the name of your database pages from the template. They should be the same because you're using the templates. But if it's not, just go ahead and verify that each one of these matched up to the actual name of your database pages that you have from the template. Other than that, you're done. You set this up, you have your credentials, now you're able to use